Jaelah, you put my business on Front Street and you did not have to do that to me, girl. So I'm watching my girl Jaelah Majette on YouTube, as I always do, because she's my friend in my head. And I hear this.
Me and structure just don't go along. Like, when you have ADHD, your mind moves all over the place. Like, it's almost like you have a bunch of tabs open in your mind. What is going on with this eyebrow? It's almost like you have a bunch of tabs open in your mind and you can't focus on one particular thing. And then your brain gets tired from you thinking about all of those different things, and then you take a nap. And that is ADHD in a nutshell. ADHD can really affect.
So I'm watching her video, and every 2 seconds I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me. That's me. That's me. That's me too. That's me. Oh my gosh, yes. And in that moment, I realized that I had ADHD. So thank you, Jaelah, for putting my business out. Because of you, after watching that video, I immediately booked an appointment with a psychiatrist. And the next day I had said appointment. And after said appointment, the psychiatrist did diagnose me with ADHD. I also got a second opinion a few weeks after that, and that person also confirmed that I had ADHD. So that is how I found out I had ADHD. So all the things that she was naming in that video, make sure you go check out the video because she explains it very well. I could relate to, plus additional symptoms. So what I talked to the psychiatrist about was my ability to hyperfocus. And I also hear the term hyperfixate. So with me, there's no warm. I'm either all into a project, completely tapped out to a project. There's no in between. So hyperfixating is when I see a task and I lock in and there's no pulling me out of that task. And usually it's a task that I find interesting and challenging because I cannot focus and sit still on boring tasks. It just doesn't work for my brain. I have to be challenged. So what I mean by hyper focus is, so say there's a bookshelf and I want the bookshelf to be put together. I won't wait on anybody else's help. I'll do it, even though I'm not great at it. I love the challenge. So even if I run into a barrier, like say I'm missing a screw, I have to keep going. So typically, even the project might not even be perfect, but it's the fact that I won't give up. I will hyper focus on it for hours and hours and hours. So for example, you know, when you move, it's a stressful day when you move. So there's lots of boxes and blah, blah, blah. Me and my hyper focus, I cannot go to sleep that night with boxes in my house. So I will unpack all of the boxes in the same day. I'll be drained doing it, but I won't realize how tired I am. I won't eat, I won't sleep, I won't drink until the boxes, it's like I see it, I lock in, and then I won't be able to sit down until every box is empty. So that's what I mean by hyperfocus. I also have anxiety. Certain things make me anxious. For example, if I'm working and someone sends me an email and I don't know the answer to the email, I get anxious. So I zone out of the email and I zone in into something that I control, like shaking my hair. And I'll get stuck doing this like for a very long time. I'll just get stuck. It's one of the things that I do to cope with my anxiety. I also had OCD when I was younger. I hated walking in grass. I hated touching hands. I was afraid of germs. I was down bad. But thankfully through meditation, I was able to get on top of that with, like I would just repeat, like, God did not give me the spirit of fear. God did not give me the spirit of fear, until I was not overwhelmed by the thought of germs. I'm also always late. Even if I set my alarm clock, even if I put out my clothes, I almost always get distracted by something else unintentionally. But again, I zone in on it. And then next thing you know, by the time I come out of it, I'm like, I also have issues prioritizing things because if I get a distraction, then it automatically becomes priority and I forget about everything else on my to-do list. Not great at organizing things or structure. There's no structure to my brain. Like Jaelah said, everything is just kind of free forming. It's no structure. It's very hard for me to be structured. I'm trying to write out lists. Sometimes that helps. Sometimes the list ends up whoever knows where. So yeah, so the psychiatrist prescribed me Strattera. And from what I was told, Strattera is not a controlled substance. It's not as strong as Adderall or Ritalin. It's kind of like a good intro for people with ADHD. I was prescribed 18 milligrams. And what we're going to do is monitor how the generic name is atomoxetine. So we're going to monitor how this helps me for the next 4 weeks. Today is day 1, which is why I'm making this video, because I want to record this journey because I don't know much about ADHD. Everything that I know about ADHD was from Jaelah's video and the quick little research that I did after being diagnosed. So I want to show and talk about my journey because who knows, maybe I'll have side effects. I've heard people say that they get headaches. I've heard people say that this increases their anxious thoughts. Like I sometimes have thoughts like when I'm going over bridges, it's not a strong enough thought anymore to where I think that I'm gonna fall in the water, but it does cross my mind every time I go across the bridge. So I've heard some people, when they get on medication, it increases those types of thoughts. So I'm going to talk about that. And I am concerned a little bit because I'm somebody who doesn't take medication. If I have a headache, I drink water. Even when I gave birth to my son, I didn't have an epidural. So what if the medication makes my hyper focus even more hyper? What if I'm not able to pull myself out of the trance of focus? That's gonna impact my priorities. That's gonna impact my work. I mean, it could very well just help me focus and help me balance things, but what if it makes it worse and I get deeper into a trance? And then what if I lose my ability to hyper focus? I like working on projects and being able to tune everybody out. So I don't want it to increase, but I also don't want it to completely go away. So I don't know. I'll have to watch that. And then also I've heard sometimes that these medications impact people's mood. So if you're in the middle of a trance and someone is distracting you, you are highly aggravated by that person. So I also have to watch out for that. I'm looking at my notes over here. And then what if I'm stuck on these for life? Like, will I need medication to help me focus? I don't want that to be the case. I want to develop ways that I can, I don't know, maybe meditate or eat healthier or exercise more, ways that will help me cope without depending on medication my entire life. Keep you guys updated on whether they are actual concerns or how the medicine impacts me. I definitely want to thank Jaelah Majette for being bold enough, queen. Talk about your struggle in your life with ADHD because clearly, baby, it's not stopping you. And I want to get to that level because if I'm honest with myself, I've achieved a lot. I went to grad school. I have a good job. But I have so many personal dreams and goals that I have written down and dreamt about, but I'm missing the follow through. So I'll let you guys know if this medication helps me follow through with my dreams. I hope you like my sign. It says happiness is homemade. And that's something that I've definitely learned during this pandemic. that you have to find it within. So I'm on a journey to self-improvement and to be able to see my dreams from start to finish. And ADHD does get in the way of that. So you guys will have to follow me. Hopefully this is not a project, because people with ADHD like projects, and sometimes, most of the time, they don't finish them. But this journey, I vow to finish. So please subscribe, please like, please share the video. There's other people out there who might have ADHD, who maybe have just been diagnosed. And so we're going to journey through this together to make it easier. And maybe even if you don't have ADHD, maybe you just need motivation. Maybe you have goals in mind that you've set for yourself this year, and you just need an atmosphere of, let's get it done, let's get it done. We can do this, we can do this. So you found the home for that. Read this meme. It says, with ADHD, I have exactly 3 types of work days. Get absolutely nothing done, get 4 hours of work done at a random time of day, or get 40 hours of work done in 8 hours. That is totally me. So let me know if you have any questions, specific questions about my journey or how I grew up. If you'd like a more detailed video about my symptoms with ADHD and how they also came out in my childhood, let me know below in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. It's your girl Stacy. Oh wait, I'm actually going to take my first pill. Oh, these things are small. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is what the pill looks like. Again, I was prescribed Strattera, and the generic brand is Atomexetine. I'm at 18 milligrams. Let's see. And there you have it. Thank you so much for watching my video. Stay tuned. Join this journey with me. We're all going to do better in 2021. We're all going to see our goals from start to finish. No more stopping in the middle, okay? No more. Start to finish. So finish with me, you guys. See you next time.